Good day! In this video, we will tackle about Dr. Jose P. Rizal's early education or mostly his journey as a student before he became a national hero in the Philippines. We will answer every questions regarding Rizal's education starting from who is his first teacher, where did he first learn how to read and write, where did he study in his early days of education, elementary school, secondary school, and college. All of this will be encountered as the video continues.
Now we are going to tackle about the first teacher of our national hero, Dr. Jose P. Rizal. Who was the first teacher of Jose Rizal? His first teacher was his mother, Teodora Alonso. Doña Teodora was a remarkable woman of good character and fine culture. We can really say that Jose Rizal is an intelligent person because at the age of only 3, he learned the alphabet and the prayers. My mother taught me how to read and to say haltingly the humble prayers which I raised fervently to God. Rizal wrote this in his student memoirs. As tutor, Doña Teodora was patient, conscientious, and understanding. It was she who first discovered that her son had a talent for poetry. Accordingly, she encouraged him to write poems. To lighten the monotony of memorizing the ABCs and to stimulate her son's imagination, she related many stories. At isa sa mga kwentong iyon ay ang kwento ng dalawang gamo-gamo, ang isang ina at isang anak. Ang anak na gamo-gamo ay naglalaro sa palibot ng apoy. Sinuway siya ng kanyang ina, ngunit hindi siya nakinig. At dahil sa katigasan ng kanyang ulo, ay nasunog ang kanyang mga pakpak. Habang si Rizal naman ay nakikinig sa kwento ng kanyang ina, ay nalilibang siya sa dalawang gamo-gamo sa harapan niya. Kasabay ng pagbagsak ng gamo-gamo sa kwento ng kanyang ina, ay siya ring pagbagsak ng gamo-gamo sa harapan niya. In that story, there is one thing that he learned that is very important in history since it helped mold Rizal to becoming a hero of our nation. He never thought that a moth could give him a lesson that he would carry forever. Ang mga gamo-gamo pala ay hindi natatakot mamatay sa paghanap ng liwanag. That lesson struck Rizal until he grew old. That lesson struck Rizal until he grew older. Rizal's mother said, "Huwag mong paparisan ang ginawa ng batang gamo-gamo. Makikinig ka sa pangaral upang ikaw ay hindi mapahamak." Naging matigas man ang ulo ni Rizal sa hindi pagsunod sa pangaral ng kanyang ina, ngunit ito naman ang nagturo sa kanya upang maging matapang sa pakikipaglaban para sa kanyang inang bayan. And as Jose grew older, his parents employed 5. Based on the discussion, I realized something, that Rizal is not different with us normal people because our first teacher was also our parents, especially our mothers. That's why we have to take good care of our mothers because they are the one who was there since before and until now. As Jose grew older, his parents employed private tutors to give him lessons at home. The first was Maestro Celestino and the second, Maestro Lucas Padua. Later, an old man named Leon Monroy, a former classmate of Rizal's father, became the boy's tutor. This old teacher lived at the Rizal home and instructed Jose in Spanish and Latin. Unfortunately, he did not live long. He died 5 months later. After Monroy's death, the hero's parents decided to send their gifted son to a private school in Binyan. And that is the end of my discussion about the first teacher of our national hero, Jose P. Rizal. I hope that you learned something about it. Thank you for listening.
Early schooling in Binyan. When he was 9 years old, his father sent him to Binyan to continue studying Latin because his first teacher had died. His brother Pasiano took him to Binyan one Sunday, and Jose bade his parents and sisters goodbye with tears in his eyes. One Sunday afternoon in June 1869, he left Calamba for Binyan. He was accompanied by Pasiano, who acted as his second father. The two brothers rode in a carromata, reaching their destination after 1.5 hours drive. They proceeded to their aunt's house, where Jose was to lodge. It was almost night when they arrived, and the moon was about to rise. First day in Binyan School. The next morning, Monday, Pasiano brought his younger brother to the school of Maestro Justiniano Aquino Cruz. The school was in the house of the teacher, which was a small nipa hut about 30 meters from the home of Jose's aunt. His teacher in Binyan was a severe disciplinarian. He was a tall man, lean and long-necked, with a sharp nose and a body slightly bent forward. First day of school in the afternoon, when the teacher was having his siesta, Jose met the bully, Pedro. He was angry at this bully for making fun of him during his conversation with the teacher in the morning. Jose challenged Pedro to a fight. The latter readily accepted, thinking that he could easily beat the Calamba boy who was smaller and younger. After the class in the afternoon, a classmate named Andres Salandanan challenged him to an arm wrestling match. They went to a sidewalk of a house and wrestled with their arms. Jose, having the weaker arm, lost and nearly cracked his head on the sidewalk. Best student in school. In academic studies, Jose beat all Binyan boys. He surpassed them all in Spanish, Latin, and other subjects. Jose Rizal in Binyan. Whenever he remembered his town, he thought with tears in his eyes of his beloved father, his idolized mother, and his solicitous sisters. How sweet was his town, even though not so opulent as Binyan. He grew sad and thoughtful. While he was studying in Binyan, he returned to his hometown now and then.
And now I will tackle about Rizal's education in Ateneo de Manila. Jose was sent to Manila 4 months after the friars Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, also known as the Gamburza, were martyred. So in 1872, Rizal was sent by his parents to study in Manila, and so he did. He entered Ateneo Municipal. As what usually happens, Rizal was discriminated by his classmates and professors, mainly because he had only a little knowledge about Spain, and also the fact that he was from Calamba, Laguna. Aside from that, he was also a late enrollee, so that ended up to the situation. But in spite of the negative things that happened to him during this time, he also experienced good things. Jose's father had intended him to study at Letran, but changed his mind and sent him to the Ateneo instead. As Rizal entered the Ateneo, the Jesuits taught them about the educational system like discipline, character building, and religious instruction. Because of that, he learned about the real value of education in a person's life, and of course, to be strong despite of all the people who were trying to pull him down. He also experienced and went through Hispanization, which made him a kind of better in Spanish than using his own language, which is the Filipino. Rizal's Ateneo mentors included Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez. Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez is one of the mentors of Rizal in Ateneo, who was not only an excellent teacher of mathematics, rhetoric, and Greek, but also a teacher who called immensely for his students. Father Sanchez even accompanied Rizal during the Heroes Dapitan exile. First year of Rizal in Ateneo, year 1872 to 1873. He heard Mass on the first day of classes for success and guidance. Then he went to class which was composed of peninsulas, Spaniards, insulars, mestizos, and natives. So at that time, his having crude knowledge of Spanish was a source of ridicule from his classmates. So to improve his knowledge of Spanish, he took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during break time. And after the end of the month, he became an emperor of the Carthaginians, and on the second half of his first year, Jose did not try studying as hard as the previous semester. Yet, he placed second at the end of the year and his grades remained excellent. Second year of Rizal in Ateneo, year 1873 to 1874. Jose regretted having neglected his studies at the beginning of the semester, but he regained the title of emperor at the end of the semester. So during this year, he became a voracious reader. He got interested in reading romantic novels. He convinced his father to buy a whole set of Historia Universal by Cesar Cantu, saying that it is a required book in class. Third year of Rizal in Ateneo, year 1874 to 1875. It was on the start of the classes when Rizal's mother came and told her about the good news that she has been emancipated like what he predicted. But even if his family was happy, Rizal didn't show excellence in class. He maintained good grades but only got one medal in Latin. In fourth year of Rizal in Ateneo, year 1875 to 1876, on June 16, 1875, Rizal became an interno. Father Francisco Paula de Sanchez, whom he described as a great educator and scholar, a model of rectitude, a solicitude, and had a great devotion to the students' progress. Rizal became inspired to study harder and write poetry under him. Fifth year of Rizal in Ateneo. Rizal became successful in Ateneo. He got the highest grade in all subjects like philosophy, physics, biology, chemistry, and language. During this time, also Rizal experienced his first romance, a love at first with Segunda Katigbak. Rizal even drew Segunda's portrait. He visited Segunda weekly on her boarding house, but eventually, Rizal learned that Segunda was already engaged to be married with Manuel Luz, a Spanish engineer. This was considered as Rizal's tragic first romance. And this will end my discussion about Rizal's education in Ateneo de Manila. That's all. Thank you.
Rizal's medical studies at University of Santo Tomas, 1877 to 1882. Rizal's mother opposition to higher education. After graduating with the highest honors from the Ateneo, Rizal had to go to the University of Santo Tomas for higher studies. The Bachelor of Arts course during the Spanish times was equivalent only to the high school and junior college courses today. It merely qualified its graduate to enter a university. Both Don Francisco and Pasiano wanted Jose to pursue higher learning in the university. But Doña Teodora, who knew what happened to Gumburza, vigorously opposed the idea. Don Francisco didn't follow his wife. He told Pasiano to accompany his younger brother to Manila. Despite their mother's tears, Jose Rizal himself was surprised why his mother, who was a woman of education and culture, should object to his desire for a university education. When Rizal enters the university. In April 1877, Rizal, who was then nearly 16 years old, matriculated in the University of Santo Tomas, taking the course on philosophy and letters. He enrolled in this course for two reasons. His father liked it, and he was still uncertain as to what career to pursue. He had written to Father Pablo Ramon, rector of the Ateneo, who had been good to him during his student's days in that college, asking for advice on the choice of career. But Father Recto was then in Mindanao so that he was unable to advise Rizal. During Rizal's first year term, 1877 to 1878, in the UST, he studied cosmology, metaphysics, theodicy, and history of philosophy. During the following term, year 1878 to 1879, Rizal received Ateneo rector's advice to study medicine. He took up medicine course, enrolling simultaneously in the preparatory medical course and the regular first-year medical course. After finishing 4 years in the medical course, Rizal decided to study in Spain. He didn't seek his parents' permission for this because he knew they would not allow it. Rizal studied medicine because he wanted to be a physician to cure his mother's falling eyesight.
Academic journey to Spain. His departure for Spain was kept hidden from Spanish authorities, friars, and even his parents, particularly his mother, who refused to let him go. But he was secretly supported by his brother Pasiano. To avoid detection, he disguised himself as Jose Mercado, the name of his cousin in Calamba. He wrote farewell letters to his parents and his sweetheart, Leonor Rivera, before leaving. He boarded the Salvador bound for Singapore on May 3, 1882. He was the only Filipino on board. Donato Lecha, the ship's captain from Asturias, Spain, befriended him. They arrived in Singapore on May 9 and checked into the Hotel de la Paz, where they spent a couple of days sightseeing. Completed studies in Spain. On November 3, 1882, he enrolled at Universidad Central de Madrid, where he studied medicine as well as philosophy and letters. Aside from those courses, he also studied painting and sculpture at the San Fernando Academy of Fine Arts. He took private lessons in French, German, and English, and he practiced fencing and shooting at the Sans E. Carbonell Hall of Arms. On June 21, 1884, he was awarded the licentiate in medicine degree by the Universidad Central de Madrid. On June 19, 1885, he was awarded the licentiate in philosophy and letters by the Universidad Central de Madrid with an excellent rating. And that's what we called learning new stuffs and flourishing the already known sets of information. We hope that you learned something about this video. Thank you very much.